All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I really only have time for one video today, but I'm going to try to squeeze in roughly 5 on this one. All right, we're going to look at TUP, you see Tupperware right here, GNS, RBT, and MULN. Now with RBT, I'm going to talk about Palantir because again, I remember the big move on RBT really was just Palantir follow through. I'm pretty sure that is actually what happened today. All right, so I'll talk about both of those together. TUP on this one. I mean, there's definitely a few interesting things happening. I know it's really easy to see this 18% and get a little more excited than you should. I'll be honest, I think I still need a little bit more on this Tupperware chart before I'm super excited, all right? GNS, oh man, GNS I thought was gonna, it's funny. It kind of sounds like dumb as I say this out loud, but I thought GNS would be a little more slow and steady this morning and help it sustain through the day. That for sure wasn't the case, man. It made a monster move in that first hour, essentially. So if you caught it, good for you. If you didn't, I think tomorrow's setting up pretty interesting, okay? And then MULN. Man, there's not a lot to say on MULN except this more than anything is a beautiful example of why I love these 5 moving averages, all right? But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, I'm telling you, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms. And for real, just being here and giving me your time is super appreciated. Oh man, I don't have it up here. Hold on, let me pause this for 1 second. Hold on. All right, cool. And if you have not already, check out the link to the Discord group. Man, there are so many good traders in this thing. It's a fun little group we're growing in there. Okay, so let's talk about TUP. All right, and listen, I often say I live and die by these 5 moving averages, all right? And more than anything, look, it doesn't have to be this 5. Just moving averages in general, man, they help because these are just some computer-generated things, not some human emotions and opinions that, used to drive what I do, all right? And believe me, I used to see an 18% day and just get so hungry, but there's a couple things here I'm not liking too much, all right? That said, let me start with the most important thing, all right? And this is actually a thing I like. So this day right here, this Friday action, okay, this is what I would call a doji. All right. Generally speaking, a doji has a very small middle body, a line up and a line down. All right. And what that basically means is uncertainty. All right. People thought it was going to run. People thought it was going to die to down here. They said, you know what? Let's just kind of end it where we started it and we'll wait to see what happens tomorrow. Well, tomorrow came today. All right. This was the Monday candle. And I'm glad it looks like we are bouncing up. Right. Like, again, these are things to get excited for generally. My honest concern simply is, look, there are 3 moving averages right here. And hey, I'm really glad Tupperware attacked this one first, maybe this one second, and this one third. Slow and steady ain't bad. And dude, slow and steady was almost 20% here, right? So it's like almost ironic for me to say that in so many different ways, right? And I don't know if ironic was that word. I'm not an English dude, right? But yeah, I always say the 200 is super hard and yeah, breaking the 200 is big, but look, I don't call this breaking. All we've done is gotten over it. And remember, getting over a line and breaking a line are 2 very different things in my vocabulary, all right? So I'm glad we're over the 200, yeah, but man, we're still under the 8 and the 20, okay? And I'm still seeing the 8 coming down. All right, the 20 isn't coming down as hard, and you can actually argue that it might be kind of actually like, nah, it kind of looks like it's whatever. But either way, I'm seeing more of like a stabilizing curve then a continued up on this line. And yeah, look, we're going down on the green line, the 8 moving average. Definitely not as steep as it was. Yeah, I'm glad it's at least like not as steep, but that's still down. All right, so MACD hasn't turned around yet. RSI hasn't turned around yet. Volume cracked the 50 line. That's important in some ways, but it wasn't a huge crack, right? But look, for me, I think there's very little reason to get into this before 350. As I'm saying that, believe me, I see it that it's roughly a 20% move that you're throwing away. I get that because, again, rough numbers going from under 3 to basically 360, right? I'm saying 355. That's 30 30 60 right there, right? But the goal, right, that the reason why I'm saying, like, I'm going to delete this line once I draw it, but yeah, if we can get over that, look, I'm trying to go from 3 to 4 and then 4 to 5. This to this, again, rough numbers is basically another 20% that I'm going to get back if I ignore this. And then this to this is almost another 25 too, right? So I'm more than happy in my, again, this is just the way I trade, right? I'm not saying that this is the best way or the right way, but like, I would give up this noise. Just, dude, get me over this candle, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm setting my alert for 361. Let me know what 361 hits on TUP, and oh man, TUP might be hard to ignore for sure. Because again, what did we do? And it's something I gotta believe I talked about the last time I covered TUP. All right, we definitely got over, and you can really argue broke, but in a lot of this one's okay. Let me just talk it out loud, all right? We definitely don't break the 200 on this day. This is not a good green candle. You know I don't like these. When we open up here, you can see it over there. We open at 355, you close at 3. More people lost a little bit more than 10% than anything. This day does get over the 200, right? So this is now day 1 that we're over. Doji does not count as confirmation, so we have not confirmed. We're definitely up. This doesn't count. This, I guess, counts, but man, there was no follow through. In everything I just said, there were no 2 consecutive days over the 200 moving average that really made me say, ooh la la, all right? And I hope you get what that means, right? But I need a day over and then follow through. That's the confirmation thing I preach here, right? So I need 2 beautiful days over the 200. Otherwise, let's just zoom out. We've been here before, couldn't do it. We've been here before, couldn't do it. We basically haven't been there since. All right, so just and look, well under it. Well under it. Really only this little moment in the history over it. And hey, I'm not trying to take away from it. This was a monstrous amount of time, actually. This was several months. That said, most of the time it's under the 200, so you got to respect the 200, okay? So, again, I think for me, like I said, just get into the 360s. Where's the weekly look? I think the weekly might be a little easier to justify a 340-ish entry, okay? Because get me over that 50 moving average is the goal. We did it once, couldn't confirm. That looks like a pretty good bounce. And then, man, we're just talking about lines and lines and lines. But the way it works is break the 20, go to the 50, break the 50, go to the 100. And that's sitting up here, right? So this is saying 341. I'm going to go to the daily, though. Where is 340? All right. Yeah, that's a little closer to the, again, just from, look, again, different risk tolerances make people do different things, right? Just look for your signal and feel it. I think I'm going to hold that 360 number. I think I really like that a lot. Look, again, on the downside, this very easily can come down to 190, all right? Because this was on the verge of losing all the moving out, right? Like it lost this one, came to this, looked like it was going to lose this, came to this. I'm glad this line held, all right? But I always say it, I love my moving averages more than my manually drawn lines. Knock on wood, I'm a pretty good manual drawer, but hey, I'm only human, right? And you know my videos, I'm not looking for this line to be perfect by any means. I'm looking for good enough. So like, I'm already kind of throwing out that they're not perfect, right? So Tupperware, it's close, but set a higher criteria for your entry and it'll do really good things for your trading game. All right. Okay, GNS. All right, listen, in a lot of ways, this stock did the job it was supposed to do. The sad thing is, it doesn't reflect it on the daily finish. All right, so what does that mean? Look, we made our way up to the 200. We clearly failed it, but get a nice little bounce, and then it runs all the way back to the 200. Like, in a lot of ways, that's what it was supposed to do. Okay, the sad thing simply is it was nothing more than a wick that ends up bringing us back down to this 230 line. All right, I think there's a little bit more to like than not like, and I think that biggest story comes out in the volume. Okay, because look, this makes a lot of sense in my head, and I hope I say this well. This one single green day of volume is better than this, and maybe even this. All right, but let's just say this one isn't. We'll take this and this, and we'll take out all three. That means we have this entire thing, all of these, this entire thing, and those two. More people over the last roughly 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, right? 1 week, 2 week and a half, have been buying and holding. All right, I like a stock that does that. Okay, because again, we're now seeing that 50 moving average, which was down here, starting to climb a little higher and higher and higher. We're now expecting to be in the 7 million. You can see it's 6.9. We're expecting at least 7 million a day. Today was 3x over that. And we know how to go like silly X over it, right? So I like this consistent volume right here. I love the way more buying than selling right here. So a lot of those, like, those are good things. Dude, I didn't look at TUP after hours. Crap, let me do that. I'm gonna do that at a later time. What are you doing after hours? You're going up. And again, I think I like, look, you know I don't care about post-market. I think post-market is a really easy way to get your hand stuck in the cookie jar. But I like that it's going up. And more than anything, look, let me actually get the numbers exact, so let's look at it. So GNS closes at 123, that green number on top. I'll put my line, try to get close to there. That's also where the 8 is. So on Friday, you can see we actually close a penny over it. Today, we at least hold it, okay? I'm glad we held it. I would have loved to hold it a little higher. Hell, I would have loved to go to the 200 and hold too, but this is still doing a decent bounce. Hopefully we bounce from the 8 to the 2 and the 200, sorry, but to 2. And then from there, oh man, if this thing can break the 200, man, I'm gonna delete the line, but like, let's just take a look at what is over this. From this to this, and again, I have to draw some other lines for sure, because that's way too big a thing, but all I'm really seeing is green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 a whole mess of nothing. Dude, I don't want you to have a 160 to 620, like that's a little bit too extreme, all right? And I'm sure on the weekly we'll see some things in between. Damn, we barely have anything in between. Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay. GNS is looking really interesting. All right. I'm going to draw this. This is clearly a plateau, and it hits this right here and basically the bottom of that. I think that's an important line, and honestly, I'm going to do it more on the bottom of that because that's 50% of that. 220, look. 123 to 220 is a sexy jump. All right, I'm a happily married man. This is all the sexy I'm allowed and can sleep in my home tonight. You know what I mean? But that is plenty for a guy like me. So do not have $6 dreams just yet. But hey, look, GNS knows how to do some silly things. All right, so we've been very, very nicely riding the 8 and the 20 as they've been going up. That is an 8 going up. It's still working up, but that's a 20 going up. We might even be golden crossing right there as early as tomorrow for all I know. So there is actually more to like than not like. Again, nothing really matters until 162 breaks. Arguably, you can make 131 an entry, because again, from 131, it's really just green, green, green. I mean, sorry, like green, 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 red, 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 red. Hopefully a green, green, green back to this, right? But last thing I'm going to say before I take a peek at the weekly, just this 200 has been no joke, all right? It's a brand new line, but dude, it's been nothing. I know it looks like good things right there. This is fake in my head, all right? And I explained that on the last video. I don't want to do it again too much, but just because we're over it doesn't mean good things. And it's actually the exact same thing I said on TUP. I don't know if you watched, but there are no 2 consecutive good days in a row. That's a good one. That's not a beautiful one. That's an all right one. That's obviously not a good one. That is not a good green candle, so that doesn't count after that. That obviously doesn't count to that. That wasn't good to that. There are no back-to-back good days over the 200. And again, to me, that screams this ain't an easy line to break, but call it a back of the head hunch. I feel like this one might get really interesting. It's a lot of it is coming here, I think. Look, it's still very, very early in the week, right? So I mean, we got a lot can happen between now and Friday, but that's a really, really good RSI. That's a MACD that looks like it wants to get into a positive, and we really are starting nicely. Like the weekly average was supposed to be 35 million. Between the 5 days of trading, we were expecting 35 million, all right? Basically 7 million a day. We took 3 days out today, and we're almost at the line just on Monday. That's actually a really good thing. Again, assuming it stays as a positive green thing, right? But like I said, this is a healthy story for me to believe that. So GNS is not close. There's definitely a lot of moving averages, not that far from each other, so I don't want to take away from that. But yeah, there's some interesting things. Look, I'd be scared if 115 is lost, because if 115 is lost, it might be a quick drop to 94, 95. I'd like to think, though, that won't. And hey, if you want to, maybe 106 is like the lowest. But again, different risk tolerances allow different people to do different things, right? So, hey, again, remember, check out the Discord group link if you haven't already. Otherwise, let's take a look at RBT. So, there's some interesting things happening right here. What are you doing after hours? Did you do it already? Damn, you're going up a little sooner than I wanted. I'm not in this one yet. I think I kind of regret doing that, right? But look, RBT, obviously it's really, really, really easy to look at this 20% and just focus on that, but I think there's a couple other things that really caught my eye. First and foremost was today's candle. So take a look at the box on the left over there. I'm trying to get my mouse in the right place. So we close at that 0.68 number that you see in green. If you go a couple lines down, you'll see the high of the day was also 0.68. There is no baby minuscule wick here, okay? People the entire day today were saying, give me more shares, give me more shares. I want to buy, I want to buy, I want to buy, I want to buy, I want to buy. Market had to ring the bell and say, no, we're done. Come back tomorrow, okay? And again, you saw it earlier, right? Post-market still going up. Again, post-market's nothing but silliness, right? So like, don't get too, it's okay, baby, I promise you. But man, all I'm seeing is red, 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 all the way to green, 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 green up to here. I think there's a lot of reason to believe that this might have another 20 cents on it. And hey, 70 cents, put another 20 cents on that. That's a little less than 33%. So just because you didn't catch the 20, like I said, I told you I didn't already. There's a lot to like there. So what is your line? 66, yeah. I'm gonna put a 69 entry here. Again, if too much happens after hours and we gap up, it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? But look, I think the other line, and hopefully you see it before I say it. Look, this is the money line to say the least. All right, it's break the 200 moving average. Okay, we've tried before, couldn't do it. Fall all the way to the bottom. But you hear me say it often. Oops, come on, baby, don't freeze on me. What just happened? Oh, what's happening? I'm freezing here. Okay, I gotta pause this. Give me a sec. Oh my, sorry about that. Okay, we're back. So look, we go up, we fail. This doesn't hold. These should hold, because you hear me say it often, right? It's hard to break 2 lines. Obviously, this one doesn't, so that was a bad one to point out, right? But as hard as it is to break 2 lines or 3 lines or 4, it's hard to lose 2 lines, 3 lines or 4, right? So tried to, can't, able to bounce, right? So, you know, it seems like this is going to want to come here, all right, 88 cents. I'm not entirely sure this is going to break, though. And the one thing I want to do is I'm going to show 2 things, all right? I'm going to start first with NASDAQ. Oh, not NASDAQ. Oh, no, that works. NASDAQ Composite right there. So look, NASDAQ had a monster day, and it's something I talked about on my Palantir video if you watched it yesterday. If you're in RBT, I hope you're watching Palantir stuff. I'm going to cover Palantir shortly after this. But look, NASDAQ, sorry to zoom in and out like that, my apologies. NASDAQ bounced well. Okay, NASDAQ basically bounces off the 100 moving average for lack of words. It actually gets back over this little golden line that I've drawn in the last couple weeks. It's still under a few moving averages, but hey, I think there's a little bit of reason to believe it'll get over this, but not this, okay? I think that goes back to RBT. I think we'll get to this. I don't think we'll get to that, okay? From there, let's look at Palantir. Again, Palantir had an interesting day. It did. It kind of does that same little bounce I see, kind of giving me a reason to believe we're going to come to this. I don't think we're going to get over 1660 here, though, okay? Moral of the story is if I'm wrong on that, RBT will crush it. Because if Palantir breaks this, if NASDAQ breaks this, there will be nothing stopping RBT from breaking that, okay? Because again, Palantir either owns at least 10% of this. I don't really remember the exact news. I'll be lying to you if I said I did, but this run was for sure a Palantir run, okay? And look, let's just do this, PLTR. I thought it was going to look prettier. But yeah, it goes up right here. It goes down right here. RBT. It definitely goes up right there and then goes down right there, right? So there is some commonality. I thought it was going to look a little more pretty than I actually flashed it. But again, RBT, I think it's more about NASDAQ and Palantir than it is this stock itself, okay? And as long as we're recover bouncing, it's all good here. If NASDAQ flashes the sign that it can't get over some moving averages, this will drop hard, okay? So just be careful with that, all right? We will end it with MULN here. And look, I don't have a lot of technical analysis to say here, all right? But I sincerely hope more than anything that this MULN interaction with you, if you're in it, if you're not, good for you, right? But if you are and you've lost some money here, look, you got to use this as a learning experience, all right? I talked about the difficulty of breaking the 20 moving average, all right? And we fought really hard for those 3 weeks. We then seemingly forgot how to battle it, and we never got close. I kept saying, again, we've obviously already done another 1-for-9 reverse split, but we were living in this 10-cent world for a long time. And I just kind of kept saying, they did the first reverse split at 10 cents. Why wouldn't they do the other one there too? Right? And obviously that happened. And look, I keep saying it, reverse splits are death. Since this dollar move, we're down that's a substantial percentage down from that's a just a little under 40%, right, in seemingly 3 days. So, and most of it actually happened the last 2 days. Look, what does happen, and we've seen it do it here, right? It goes away from the 8 and maybe comes back to the 8. Goes away from the 8, maybe comes back. Goes away, maybe comes back. So like, maybe there's a reason to believe that this can come up to 89 cents. Believe me, I have absolutely no interest in even like buying $1 of this and going to bed and waking up to see. Like, the only way I would trade MULN is if I had my finger on the mouse for real. And again, I would very, 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 very much expect this to go no higher than 89 cents. And remember, this line is going down every day. So tomorrow it might even be down to like 85 for all I know. I don't know the math behind these lines, right? But just more than anything, you got to respect the lines. And I'm not here saying that these are the 5 best moving averages or anything like that, but there's a reason why I like TA. And yeah, believe me, I know that this is a car company, and like, it's kind of one of those, why would I not want a car company this cheap? A lot of it just really is, man. The EV game is like, it's saturated. I live in LA. I see Lucids. I'm sorry, Polestars all day. I see Rivians all day. You know, I obviously see Teslas all day, right? But like, MULN is so far behind. Like, Ford, Mercedes, I think even Lamborghini just dropped. And like, the market's not there for this thing to just like drop a car and all of a sudden like become a market share leader from like nowhere. You know what I mean? So just, I hope you learn from this. I hope you like learn the moving averages and like take emotion out of stocks, man. This is just nothing than 4 letters, dude. MULN. That's all I see. I see four random letters that we're going to forget not that long from now. All right. So, hey, appreciate your time. You know, these are just my opinions. If you disagree with any of it, I am more than happy to have a really healthy conversation. You know what I mean? But thank you. Thank you.